My whole life has just been active. Starting in the 7th grade, I played football, basketball, and track. The only letter that I did not earn from the 7th grade through the 12th grade was the 7th grade track. So I ran 10 consecutive Boston marathons. Ran the best at 2 hours, 42 minutes, and that was in the top 10% of about 30,000 runners. Set a world's record in 1998 in the 60-64 age division. It was a 5:13 mile indoor mile.
Robert guesses he was probably going around 70 miles an hour. He had a racing four-wheeler, and then he had the four-wheeler that my husband had given him, which was kind of like for farm use, deer hunting, things like that. They were racing, and they went around the curve, and it was one of those swing arm gates. He hit his sternum and broke his sternum in half, broke all his ribs. It severed his head from his spine. It was broken at the C1. The doctor called and said, we've x-rayed your son, and his injuries are way beyond what we can do for him. He said, your son is never going to do anything but blink his eyes. And I said, you mean he's going to be like Superman? And he said, ma'am, your Superman is way better shape than your son's ever going to be.
My carotid arteries were both torn, that's usually lights out there. So, and then that just fixed itself. And then they told me I'd never be able to swallow. And then that came.
I had been taking a class with Henry for almost 3 years at the Centennial Valley Country Club, where he taught core training.
After a short period of time, they were going to transfer him to Little Rock, and his insurance for therapy was running out. I told Trish, I said, I'm not certified anyway to work with handicapped people, but you know what I do in our classes, and if you want me to work with him, I will.
I'm like, I can't even move my arms. What am I gonna do with him? And he figured out what we could do, and we started with just little bitty movements.
First time I meet him, I take one of the gold medals that I've won, and I said, this represents a lot of hard work, pain, and I said, you have a long, hard race to run, much harder than what I ran to get this medal. And I said, I want you to hang this medal up where you can see it. And if you start having doubts, you look at this medal, and you're gonna win this race.
Yes, open that and close it. Can you do your other hand too? July 31st.
I started working with Robert and using the philosophy I had in coaching.
Robert and Henry, September 23rd.
We saw our greatest improvements in our weightlifting and our strength in football using a negative form of lifting. I went in with that philosophy there. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to assist him, and I'm going to help him take it to the top, and he's going to control it on the way down. Again, we're getting into our negative weightlifting. After about a year and a half, he was being able to control the weights and could stand up a little bit.
Yeah. I felt myself, well, I just did it with a camera and lifted.
Get up there. He's deadlifting 95 pounds. He can curl about 30. Quit. Control. 4 years ago, we had a broomstick doing this.
You know, it's Easter, it's Christmas, it's, hey, is Henry coming? Yep. You just, no matter what day it is, Tuesday and Thursday, you have to just keep doing it. I met Henry, he was barely 70, a young man.
That's coal black hair. You term it gray. But we've come a long way in 4 years.
You hear about Henry and he's got all these achievements, and then you see him, and that's motivating. I mean, he's a older man that is still in great shape. You don't get that old and be that fit by just not having any kind of drive, you know.
There's a pup.
Stretch every day, twice a day for 5 years now. If I didn't want to do it,
4. Come on there, go down. 4.
he would have just walked out. He had to see a certain amount of effort from me, not just a little grunt, you know, a yell. He drags me across this mat to give me wedgies on purpose, I think. What old people do for fun, I guess.
Mercy me.
Henry does a lot. I mean, he didn't know Robert from Adam. He loves Robert like a son today. And Robert dearly loves him. He's hoping that others can see that if you take care of your body, if you work hard at it, look at what can be done.
I think Henry is sort of like a person that wants to climb Mount Everest. I mean, why the hell you want to go up to the top of Mount Everest, maybe die, you can't breathe, it's freezing cold, and there is no reason other than to say that you did it. Whatever thing he's wanted, as far as athletically in his whole life, he's achieved. And he saw me as this challenge, and he wanted me to walk, and he wanted to get a certain distance with me. And I think we've actually surpassed that. Now he's along for the ride.
He says he's keeping me alive. Oh, I tell you.
Before I met him, he was just a dried up old man. Now he's a true athlete.
Great coaching, great coaching.